Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name's Nat Rich, as you know, and I am here for May. Actually, I was going to say April then, but it's May's cosmic weather with Jev. And I haven't done any other videos this month. This is my only video that I keep doing is with you because I'm loving the astrology so much. But we are back to talk about the amazing cosmic weather and the astrology that is right now and what's going on in the world, because things are a little bit bizarre. And you explain it better, Jev. So how are you today, first and foremost?
I'm good. Thank you so much. Well, we're in eclipse season, right? So the good, I would equal to your term bizarre.
Yeah.
I think many of us are moving through this and experiencing a lot of different energies, including ups and downs and being super tired or being super energetic to the point that you don't know how to get that plug out of yourself and to actually slow down and rest. So I will ask, first of all, how did the first eclipse treat you, Nat, which has been on the April series that was basically last week. How do you feel?
I feel good. I feel like things are hitting, but in the most incredible way. There's some amazing things that are happening for me on an energetic level and on a business level, which I'm really, really happy with. And I've got this weird sense of calm. And I'm like, is it calm before the storm? Is it calm? You know, I'm a bit suspicious of the calm because I'm not used to the calm as much. But in terms of kind of things going as I plan them to go, I'm not that interested. I'm just like, okay, they're going as they are and they haven't really affected me so much. But I do feel a slight sense of buzzing and things, something's happening, something's going on, not sure what it is, but it's constantly on. It's constantly turned on. So this kind of like faint buzzing in the background is permanent. And I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign, but it feels good. Wasn't that right?
Nice, nice. You described it pretty well. So let me break it down for you and for the audience here, right? To bring everyone up to speed, where we are, what's going on. So we're talking about the cosmic weather in May, but we can also take a look back a little bit and see where are we coming from and where we're heading, right? So let me start with the eclipses, right? We are in the eclipse season right now. It's an eclipse corridor, so to say. So the first eclipse has, as I mentioned, met us on the April 30th. That was the partial solar eclipse in Taurus, okay? So what does solar eclipse bring? It brings typically the endings and beginnings. Solar means that typically these are things which are manifesting in the real world, so to say. It's the notion of the sun, right? And the sun is what is being manifested, what is seen, what is visible. And typically eclipses are bringing changes, right? It's all about changes. And of course, it's not necessarily on that day, although you could have felt a very strong, potent energy. It's really about the turning points. So eclipses are the turning points. And what do I mean by that? Of course, our lives are not a straight line, right? We're moving with twists and turns. And oftentimes with those turns and twists are very unpredictable, right? And so we can imagine that the portals, which are the eclipse portals, are almost redirecting us to the next twist or to the next turn, which will be beneficial for our growth, beneficial for our evolution, okay? And so that eclipse in Taurus, I personally really like that. Why? Because Taurus means a lot of beautiful things. It means growth. It means grounding. It means something that we have been sensing and dreaming of and visioning back in March and April actually starts to materialize. You can see the first steps of those things are coming alive, and you're like, ooh, this is actually happening, right? I can see you're nodding.
I'm like, oh my God, like you can see how happy my face is right now because it's making so much sense. I have been working like on something, and literally this week, like today, we went through it with the team, and I started to see the vision of it all succinct and come together and dawn. I did a big advisor call this morning with the team of advisors that I've got on, and I showed them everything we've been working on, and actually seeing it all myself, everything we've worked on up to now, and then showcasing it. I just sat back and I was like, oh shit, I've done a lot of stuff, and I'm starting to see it materialize. And obviously, it's just coming slowly, but everything you're saying is making so much sense. So yes, to the letter. Continue.
Beautiful, beautiful. So Taurus also rules peace and comfort and grounding, and think about it as a fertile soil, right? So it almost, if we take a plant of a metaphor of a plant, right? We're like plants, and we want to grow in a soil which is fertile, right? And that was exactly the point of the period before, where we were floating and trusting and sensing and reassessing different things and reconsidering how do we want to live now after those 2.5 years of constant transformation and shift and changes. So it was the first step where we actually took that plant, which wherever it was growing, and put it in a new pot where the soil is really nourishing, the soil is really fertile. And especially during that eclipse, we had Venus conjunct Jupiter, directly conjunct Jupiter, and these are two benefics. I mean, you could not imagine a better aspect for something that is starting in your life with the shift and change and new trajectory. And of course, there was a Uranus in the mix, so probably some of us got to the point of being surprised, right? Some things would have popped up where you think, oh my God, okay, this is also part of the new mix, or is this really how my new life can look like in the future? So I really saw it's a beautiful beginning and a beautiful strengthening of a belief that we don't have to rush in our lives anymore. We don't have to prove anything. It is a really huge boost to the sense of worth. I'm worthy of it. I want to create this abundance in my life. I want to create this prosperity in my life. And I also want to do something which is truly meaningful for me.
Yes. Continue.
All right.
Nothing to say. I'm like, go.
Then about this buzzing, which you mentioned, bless you. So about the buzzing, just one day before the eclipse, we had Pluto stationing retrograde. Okay, so that is the first planet that has been stationing retrograde after 3.5 months of all planets that being direct, right? So that was really the first planet who would say, okay, now is the time to reconsider stuff, right? And Pluto, as we know, is the furthest away. It's the most potent planet that is working on our transformation, that is impacting our soul evolution. And so because Pluto is moving so slowly, when it was coming to the point of stationing retrograde, it was going even slower, right? It was literally just drilling one on the same point, which is 28 degrees of Capricorn, and stationed retrograde. And when it's on this one point, it basically creates this feeling of something is buzzing, something is, we feel it in our energy. We feel that this is this potent time. And so Pluto will be retrograde for the next 5 months, right? And that is the time for us to reconsider how we engage in the power dynamics, how we use power. What is power for us? Who do we give our power away? Who is authority? What is authority? Do I use my power in the best possible way with integrity? Or do I tend to control other people? Do I tend to manipulate them? Well, we of course see it not only in personal dynamics, we can see it in the world dynamics as well. And I hope that the next 5 months will really bring some kind of re-evaluation in that area of our lives.
Oh, that's good. Well, I've got lots of relationships in my life at the moment. There's lots of incredible relationships that are deepening. And I think kind of seeing how I show up in all these different places, especially related to business, for me personally, is going to be quite interesting. But I'm surrounding myself with conscious people. So hopefully that we can, if there's anything that arises, we can talk about it.
Beautiful, beautiful. Because that brings me to the point of talking a little bit about other energies that we have in the sky, right? And so during, let's say, the period of March, April, we were going through the energies which kind of were almost packaged in stelliums. So what is a stellium? A stellium is when we have 3 or 4 planets in one sign. Okay, and so of course then it brings this energy in a more powerful way, in a more pronounced way. And especially one of the most kind of powerful stelliums that we had recently and still have to the most part is the stellium of planets in Pisces. Okay, so we have Neptune in Pisces until 2026. That's a lot. That's a very long story and time. Then we had also Mars, Venus, and Jupiter in Pisces, okay? And that was really the time in March and April and still right now as well. That was and still is this energy of dreaming, of trusting, of having faith, of reconnecting with something larger than we are, and literally getting those visions of how do you want to show up now in the world? How do you want to live your life? What do you accept in your life? What do you not accept in your life anymore? How do you want to reconnect with conscious people? Or how do you want to, what is kindness for you? What is compassion for you? What is unconditional love for you? And so, of course, during this year, which is pretty intense for everyone, right? We feel it on personal and also collective scale. We went through a lot of changes, internally and externally. We can even call it loss, right? In some ways, the Pisces energy was cleansing, it was releasing. We can feel that we either lost someone, literally lost someone, or, you know, there were relationships which just were dissolved, so to say, or things in our life that was just living, you know, they were living. And so I believe that this energy of Pisces, it is so kind and loving that it's really here for a longer period of time to assist us with going through those losses, really going through and being almost wrapped in that blanket of kindness and you know, almost like a pink cloud or something like that, where the universe says, I'm here, I'm with you. I know it doesn't feel comfortable. I know it's hard, but let it go. We don't need it anymore. Let it go. I'm here with you. Okay. And so that's where we might feel a little bit disoriented, where this is where we might feel a little bit confused. It's like, oh, I wanted, I got the vision. Can I go now? And the universe is saying, not so fast, not so fast. Okay.
Yes. God, it's literally like you're looking into my life. It's like a fly on the wall at the moment. It's incredible. Yeah. I didn't lose someone essentially, but like for it not to go any further. But we're like really good, like best mates. So it kind of, it works well. But the universe has been like, well, instead, well, that door is now closed in that scenario. Here's another one, and here's another one. So yeah, I'm feeling very gifted at the moment. I feel like this is talking straight to me. It's not like you're giving anyone else a reading. It's just that it's my channel, it's my reading. It's all about me. It's my birthday as well, obviously, this month. So it is Gemini related. Yeah, so I'm soaking you up for personal reading.
Perfect. I love it. Although no one has called me a fly on the wall before, but
you know, I like my one-liners with you, Jev. You know that.
Absolutely. So where was I? I was in the Pisces season, right? So we, at this point, now that we're talking, no, let me come back first to another stellium. Okay, so along with the Pisces energy, of course, we need to have other energies as well. Otherwise, we will just, you know, all be dreaming somewhere in the clouds. We will just lose touch with reality and, you know, no one will get anywhere. All right. So we really needed to ground. And so, of course, this is where the Taurus season was helping us a lot. okay? And so even now we have quite a few planets. We have the Sun in Taurus, we have Uranus in Taurus, and we have the North Node in Taurus. So planets and points, right? The combination, which helps us to ground, which helps us to go slowly, but to go. Right? It's really taking one step at a time, taking one day at a time, feeling what needs to be done next. Okay, I'm dreaming here, I'm sensing here, but I can see at least a few days in front of me, and I will do my best there. Okay, with the quality, with the thoroughness, with the, you know, with the hardworking attitude, I'll do that. Okay. And so what happens now, or will happen in May, this is where I'm leading, all right? On the May 2nd, yesterday, Venus was the first planet who moved out of Pisces and entered Aries. What it means? First of all, it means that those planets which were residing in Pisces will slowly but surely move into Aries, okay? And that has a few implications. First of all, it is a really refreshing feeling, because imagine that we had a lot of water energy for a while, and now slowly but surely the planets are moving into fire, which we did not have for a long time. We didn't have any planets in fire since April 21. That's why it felt for many people very sluggish. It felt like we don't have motivation, we don't have energy, I'm super tired, I don't want to go anywhere, I just want to lie down on the couch, watch my Netflix and eat, pretty much.
Yes, I can think of just exactly one person that's done that. Yeah.
I see you. And so now, probably even since yesterday, you can feel the switch, because there is already this, oh, let's do that, let's connect, let's, you know, chat, let's write something to somebody. And that is the Venus that moved into Aries. And it will be step-by-step process, because next week on the May 10th, we have Jupiter moving into Aries. So we'll have even more of this cosmic boost, more of the fire energy, more of this enthusiasm, impulsiveness, fearlessness. I will go for my dreams. No one will stand on my way. You know, it's really this brave warrior that says, okay, I'm ready to go. The combustion engine is ignited, the rocket is flying, pretty much. And then on the May 24th, Mars will join them. And Mars is, of course, in its home sign in Aries. So that will be a lot of fire. That means that we will be reignited again. We will be able to move forward and act on those visions and dreams that we had. Finally, it won't feel sluggish. Finally, you know, people around us won't feel like everyone is sleeping around. I mean, not sleeping around, but sleeping. This is funny.
To, really,
this is cool. You can see what Venus in Aries is already thinking about, right?
Yeah, chance of a fine thing.
That is the mood. I'm even thinking, how will it feel when a lot of planets, including Jupiter, will be in the fire sign? That will literally will be like the cosmic boost with the fire. Okay. Are you looking forward?
What date is that? What date is it? 20?
24th? You need to put it down. Jupiter moves into Aries on the May 10th.
Yeah.
And Mars moved into Aries on the May 24, 25, depending on your time.
That's the day I moved to Ibiza. So I moved back home to the island permanently. Very exciting. So that will be my own boosted excitement. So hopefully we'll see what happens. Yes.
A lot of enthusiasm. It's really bold energy. It's really confident. It's not about pleasing others or thinking what others want. It's really, I want it, I desire it, I want to go for it. Nothing is standing on my way. And it's really warrior energy, all right? So that's one implication. The second implication is that Jupiter takes 12 years to come back to the point where it was, right? So to have one full circle, so to say. And so, of course, entering Aries, that is a brand new cycle.
So we've been in that for 12 years.
Exactly. No, it means that, well, Jupiter spends 1 year in one sign, right? So think about the last time Jupiter used to be in Aries, or has been in Aries, is 12 years ago, back in 2010, 2011, kind of.
That's like my whole wake-up journey. That's how long I've been single for. Maybe this is my time.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Wow, I need to write that down.
I love it.
Manifest.
So really think about what happened, or what kind of was unfolding for you back in 2010 and beginning of 2011, right? So that will give you a very good indication of where you were, and also what kind of themes were unfolding for you, because that will be again the same house in your chart that the Jupiter will be traversing. Okay. So it's really opening new possibilities, opening new opportunities. That's a brand new cycle. And of course, we'll love to take a look and kind of keep an eye on where Jupiter is, because where Jupiter is, this is where rewards are. This is where the energy moves very freely, smoothly, where luck is coming your way, where there is support. So it's really something uplifting and basically helping us to get off those old trajectories, or getting off those old habits again, right? So remembering, or coming back to that metaphor that we had with the plant, right? We're replanting that plant and putting it in the soil, but it needs also its own internal boost to be able to live in this new pot, flower pot, right? And in this new kind of soil, and get used to it, right?
Wow. I'm looking forward to that. So back in 2010, 2011 was kind of, I just had started my wake-up journey, shall we say, in like 2009, and I was getting lost in YouTube and conspiracies and rabbit holes and spirituality and meditation and ayahuasca and all these other crazy things. And going into that rabbit hole in that, that part of life. And obviously, when I landed in Ibiza on the 25th of May, around that week, I also launched I Am Sound TV, which is going down the rabbit hole, but in a positive way. So this is making so much sense for what's coming. And I need to find out what's in my Jupiter, or where my Jupiter is, but we can do that afterwards.
We can do that. Beautiful. And two other things I want to zero on in. First of all, I want to come back to the second eclipse. Okay. So, yes, the second eclipse is a full lunar eclipse that we have on May 16th, okay, in the sign of Scorpio. And Scorpio, yes, it's always intense. So that will be a very, very, let's say, potent and transformational intense, okay, eclipse. So it's literally, it's a full moon. Full moons are typically bringing a lot of illumination of what has been hidden in the dark, what we haven't seen before, what we didn't want to look at before. And of course, those eclipses, they're always like supercharged moons, right? This moon even is called blood moon, So really expect a lot of things coming up to the surface. And here, of course, I would like to talk a little bit more about why is it coming, okay? So again, coming back to that metaphor with the plant, right? We kind of replanted ourselves in a soil which is fertile and nourishing for us, right? And we kind of trying to get comfy in that new space, right? But we still need to discard the old flower pot, right? Because that has a little toxicity there, or that has a lot of past, and that has also some of the old roots that are still there. And so, of course, everyone who is doing personal work, we know that letting go is a practice that is not just taking place once, right? It's letting go, releasing, letting go, releasing, letting go, releasing, and again and again. And so the full moon in Scorpio, this eclipse is really about releasing, letting go, unburdening, unrooting, whichever metaphor comes to you, whichever word comes to you, it's really getting rid of those old toxins. Okay, because Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, and it kind of rules, the lower bowel. It's where the toxins are, which we need to get rid of. Otherwise, it's very dangerous for the body to have the toxin for a long time in the body, right? It's really letting go. And I would say we can even say it's almost like the final scene, of the movie, where it is your final chance to let go, because we've been doing a lot of it in a very, let's say, mild way, especially with Pisces energies. It's like, okay, here a little bit and there a little bit and here a little bit, and that will be like a ta-da, big storm. Okay, so be prepared. If you can rest a lot, if you can take some time off, if you can, don't plan a lot for that weekend. Be prepared with all of the, the list of all the soothing tools that you have, anything that helps you, basically, right?
Massage, I think.
Massage.
We have, hello, sorry, we knew this was going to happen. Come on then, sorry. Just say hi and then you can go.
Hi.
Hi, say hi everyone.
Hi everyone.
You're on YouTube.
Car, make a car. Make a car.
Yeah, Umi's going to draw you some cards. Okay, go on then, have a great time.
Car.
Okay, see you in a bit. Bye. I knew that was going to happen. Sorry about that, Jeff.
I think it's a modern time classics.
Yeah, I know. That doesn't really happen to me very often, but yeah, there you go. Wanted to come say hi. So you were saying soothing tools. I've opted for a massage on that day. What else can we do?
Journaling, a lot of journaling, because we really, in order to let go, you need to understand what you're letting go of, right? And so what helps you to process your emotions, because that mainly is emotional, it's not necessarily physical something, because you already know what you're letting go of, just between you and me, or me and all the audience that we have. The process has already started a while ago. What you are working right now with are the remaining parts of it. It's really those deepest roots that needs to be, taken out and discarded. Okay, so it's really emotional process, because if we think about it a little bit in depth, it makes sense, right? We have so many stories within ourselves which are, let's say, wired really deeply in our brain, in our bodies, and our emotional patterns, that we don't tend to change in one day. We don't to change in 1 month. So it takes time. And so the universe is giving us this opportunity. The universe is giving us this support and says, now it's time. Okay. But there are also quite a few aspects which will be pressuring. Okay. They are pressuring. We will feel the pressure, and it's the pressure to change. It's the pressure to transform. It's the pressure to basically burn down some of the parts of our lives and be okay to sit in the ashes.
And sometimes that doesn't mean that you're losing someone. That's some part of yourself might, be what needs to go. And sometimes we're so focused on our partners or our friends or the other people in our lives, and we think letting go, we just think people. But actually sometimes it's situations, it's beliefs, it's patterns that just are no longer. And I'm shedding quite a few, obviously, with all of this stuff happening with me. I'm seeing parts of myself where I was holding myself back, where I was doubting and I was worried, or really pointless doubts, but I'd somehow justified them, and letting them go slowly. I can't chuck them all out at once. I need daily recognition to build up a stronger faith in another area. So these patterns can be, they can be quite moving. So I do get what you mean.
It's beautiful how you managed with those words tie in 3 parts there. One part is those doubts, which probably in some way have been related to the self-worth. Okay, and that, of course, we're feeling the boost, the strengthening with one eclipse. Then you mentioned faith. This is where those energies of Pisces are helping us to develop it, to really believe that the universe always guides us and has our backs. And then the third one is to shed and let go with the Scorpio eclipse.
Yeah. It's going to be a busy month.
It is a busy month, but you remember we were talking about April and we said, oh, it's an action-packed month and so on. And so when it comes to May, I would say it's the month which I would call a stretch. All right. It's not so much happening. It's more about how can we stretch? How can we allow this transformation to happen? How can we be open for this turning point? For me, it's really about understanding and riding those energies, really, right? Because we were talking now about eclipses, the first one and the second. We were talking about different energies and how they are kind of shifting. And one more very important thing I want to mention and touch upon is Mercury retrograde. It's here again.
Do you know, I feel like it comes round.
It's
more
coming.
time than a Sunday.
Coming.
What's the date of the Mercury retrograde?
It's May 10th, together when Jupiter is moving into Aries. So let's talk about Mercury retrograde, notorious Mercury retrograde. So we're experiencing Mercury retrogrades 3 times a year, and they last 3 weeks each. Okay, so that we just don't feel like we're living in a permanent Mercury retrograde, because we tend to hear about it quite often, right? Of course, many people kind of fear Mercury retrogrades, right? They're like, oh my God, no, nothing will work and everything will be canceled and I don't know what else. Yes, there is some part to it, some true part to it. But let me just, kind of justify why is it happening, okay? So Mercury is the planet of thinking and communication. It's all about logic, right? And of course, we live in a society that values logic very much, that we know. But there is the universe. And the universe sometimes needs to rectify or, make sure that we're not too far going into extremes, right? And we are the society that lives in extreme, very much in our heads and not so much in our bodies, hearts, or intuition. So Mercury retrograde periods are actually this blessing in disguise when the universe says, okay, my dears, slow down. Slow down, come back to yourself. This is a time of reflection. This is a time of reassessing things, maybe taking stock of even what has happened during the past 2-3 months, because even though it feels like nothing happened, it feels like happened a lot at the same time. So it always is a good idea to take a look back and integrate whatever happened, because if we move so quickly, then we might stumble again somewhere down the road just because we didn't integrate what just happened a month ago. So that is really a good time to kind of slow down and reassess things, right? At the same time, since we had those visions, since we had those new ideas, plans, inspirations, those inspirations are already ignited within us. We already kind of know, okay, I want to do this and I want to do that. And I didn't have this on my, on my agenda even a few months ago. Now I have it. But this Mercury retrograde, it helps you to go through this idea and see what comes, what goes, what is valid, what is not, which detail you want to add to the strategy, and what you want to amend, or maybe you want to invite someone else to this project, or whatever it is, right? It's really kind of going through and making sure that it actually will stick, will actually have legs, and it actually will last, all right? So with Mercury retrograde, it begins on the May 10th, and we're already in the shadow of it. So Mercury starts to slow down, okay? So if things are feeling a little bit unstable, or plans are changing, or scheduled time is moving back and forth, that is a part of it. So just stay open. Just know that this energy is about shifts and changes. Okay, it's okay to change the booking. It's okay to move the call. Nothing bad happens with this, and sometimes it's even better. Sometimes you're like, oh, thanks God, I didn't have to wake up so early for our live YouTube talk, So
I was so grateful. I was just like, then I was thinking, why am I grateful? There's drills. Yeah, we had to move, if everybody's watching, we had to move our call this morning that was meant to be at 9 a.m. But it just happens to be that the cavity wall installation decided to happen at 8:30, and it was the loudest morning I've ever had. So that moved, and it was perfect because you wanted to stay in bed.
Correct.
There you go. Magic. That's the universe.
I was grateful. I said, thank you so much. I'm just going with the flow, and I trust that it is for my own benefit. Okay.
Good.
So Mercury retrograde will last until June 3rd. You want to write it down?
Yeah. Okay.
June 3rd, and then we have the shadow zone until June 18th. Okay. Yeah. So we can say that, again, this upcoming 3 weeks is the time when we're still kind of mulling over things. So if we take a big picture view, it's almost like our engine is ready. It is really like says, let's go for it. I really am energized. I'm really fearless. Let's just go for what we want, for what I desire. And the mind says, I'm not yet on the same page. I'm not ready yet. So again, the universe says, okay, I'm giving you this fire energy and inspiration so that you would stick to this vision that you had, to this dream that you had, that you don't lose it somewhere on the way. But the mind still needs to get on the same page. It still needs to reassess things, because there might be some changes. It might be that you have dreamt of something, and now 2 weeks down the road, you're like, actually, I'm not sure about that. Maybe I want to do it differently. Maybe I want to package it in a different way. Maybe I want to engage different people here. Maybe I want to change how I show up in this situation. Because also this Mercury retrograde, it will basically move through 2 signs this time. It will start in Gemini, all right, and then it will move back into Taurus. So 2 signs that are affected. I mean, everyone is affected, but it will be traversing 2 signs. And so, first of all, Mercury going through the Gemini part. Mercury rules Gemini, okay? So we will feel a lot of this, because again, this is our thinking process. This is how we think. This is how we talk. This is how we share our ideas. This is how we voice our opinions. And here it is an invitation for us to reassess how we speak, how we show up, and reassess, first of all, our mental stories, our mental narratives that we basically say to ourselves, and we spin on the loops. And of course, it's a great process after everything we've been through, after everything we were shedding and releasing and shifting internally. Now the mind says, all right, let's do a check here. Let's do a grand revision, because now I've changed. How can my mindset change as well? Right? And so by the time it moves into the sign of Taurus, this is where it starts to get to grow roots. Okay, now I'm changing my stories, narrative scripts. How can I make sure that it is incorporated in my daily life, incorporated in my material reality, incorporated in everything that I speak, do, and act upon?
This is again bang on point, because I think I swear too much. I swear a lot, and then my other brand is about integrity, and the two don't go together. But then again, at the same time, I'm like, I don't really care. But I do know that I could make more of an effort not to swear so much. And so that's, as you're saying to me, I'm like, my mind's going, swearing. swearing. You swear a lot, you swear too much. People say you have for swearing. I'm like,
Here we go. Here we go.
oh, but I like to swear sometimes, though. It's like a release. I'm like, fuck, you know, and it just feels good.
We can
But
always
yes.
find a different release mode.
Yeah, I know. Okay. Fine. I'm not changing the brand name, though. I've got Unfuck Your Life, which works very well. So I'll just keep it to the brand name, but everything else can change.
Okay. Well, you
Okay.
have 3 weeks for that anyways, right?
Yeah.
So whatever comes, just listen. I mean, the
3
universe,
weeks
if the universe comes and says, don't swear, then you will be like, okay,
Do you know what? It's
time.
interesting. So somebody said to me the other day, I was telling them about TV channel, and they said, do you know what? I love it when there's a really good TV channel, but then I get so disappointed when people just, they swear, and it just jars me, and then I don't want to watch them. And I was just like, oh my God, they're talking about me. And my dad was like, see? And then I went to another friend's house, and her mom was like, have you ever thought about not swearing as much? And I was just like, oh, yeah, I have. I've thought about it loads of times, and then I left it. And then I had another conversation where someone said, you swear a lot, don't you? And I was like, I'm swearing more lately. I don't know why, but I'm swearing a lot more. And I think obviously having the universe come back to me to say, you don't need to talk like that. Because if I'm going on a global stage with having my own TV channel, you know, I want to be able to relate to as many audiences diversely as possible. And not everybody likes the F word or the C word or the S word or the W word or any other words that I can think of right now. So I need to button up, basically. Thank you. Cosmic guidance over here.
Beautiful. So yeah, it's for all of us to have this revision and basically to just know not to create frustration within ourselves, right? Because there are quite a few energies that will be kind of butting heads with each other, right? So don't be frustrated. This is how it is. We're all going through this together. Know that we're still in the eclipse period. So that is intense. We're still in the shedding, letting go period. This is intense. We're slowly moving from Pisces into Aries, which will be giving us this boost of energy, of inspiration, of going for what we want, but our mind is still not on the same page. And that can create, you see, it already feels like a little bit of schizophrenia. That is like, you want to go into one direction and then another part of you says it's not time yet. So just flow with it, because I believe that by the time we reach end of May, we have a beautiful new moon in Gemini on the 30th of May.
Which is my birthday.
Which is your birthday.
Everyone, mark the date. Just
Exactly.
wish me well on that morning. Thank you.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
that is a beautiful new moon where we really can finally, it will be already the time when the eclipse season will officially end, right? So we can start again. We can start with those new mindsets. We can start with those new ideas. And by the time we reach June 18th, when also the Mercury retrograde shadow will be cleared, this is where our new life really starts to flourish.
And I will be parked up in my new fancy house in Ibiza. So yes, that is exactly it. The new life.
Yes.
Back to Nat. Yes.
Yes to that.
Yeah, I've got goosebumps actually as I'm saying it. I'm like, yay.
I hope everyone who's watching got the goosebumps as well, that you can relate, that you can plan, that you know the timing, the shifts, and when to start your new life, basically.
Yeah, amen to that. So that's a lot of cosmic weather that's going on there, and some key dates. We have the 10th, we've got the 16th, the 24th you mentioned, the 30th and the of May, which is my birthday. Everybody diary date, please. There you go. And the 3rd of June until the 18th of June as well.
Correct.
So there's a lot. We're not sure if we can do a June episode because you're going to be busy. Because would you like to tell everyone what you'll be doing?
I'll be teaching at the university, which is my passion. I'm very passionate about teaching, education, helping people grow, and that is an absolutely beautiful opportunity.
In a professor position, might I add. There you go.
Yeah, it's a business university in Switzerland, and it's an honor.
Yeah, I can see your whole face coming to life then when you were saying that. So I'm very proud of you as well. That'll be your new life for us. Yeah, loving it. So you're going to be joining me in Ibiza at the end of the month?
After I finish my module in June, I can.
You can fly out in June. Yeah, we shall be waiting for you to arrive on the island. I'm feeling very excited from this this particular month of what you've been saying. There's a lot going on, especially with the Mercury retrograde.
Yeah.
But we've survived all the Mercury retrogrades up to now. So it's just one more.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't even look at it from the survival perspective. I look at it as a beautiful reflection when after those 3 weeks, we're coming out of it and we're like, oh, that was actually super useful because I have overlooked it. I probably haven't thought about it. And now my plan is so much richer that now I can act on it without the fear of failing or forgetting something or overlooking something.
Yeah. And it's, you know what, I will say one thing is, not one thing, I'm always saying things, but I'll say another thing, shall we say. I have been in my own personal life looking at all of the things that I needed to tick off and make sure, there's another one of these invites. Shh. So I've been basically looking at all of the things that I need to tick off and make sure that I've done and sewn up, and just going back in, making a list of everything, going back in to tidy those things up before this all happens is probably the safest way to be able to manage it in a better way. So if you can prepare yourself ahead of time and make a note and actually say to yourself, right, I'm going to try and do my best to meet the universe rather than getting whooped by it. That's probably a good idea.
Totally. That's why we're doing it, because it's like waves. Waves are coming anyway. The question is, do you know how to ride them or not?
No, exactly. And I'd rather know how to ride them and prepare to ride them than get slammed, body slammed. Basically. So yeah, I think that's it. We'll let you know the next time we will be on. There's going to be more stuff from me as I finished packing up here and moving on to Ibiza. I will be back on YouTube way more. I just had to focus on my life and to get it sorted, and I Am Sound TV, and we are like 95% there. So that has been my biggest project. So for those who are watching and I haven't been on for a while, I do apologize. But Jev, thank you so much for joining today. Would you like to add anything? And your details are underneath as well, but would you like to add anything more?
You always know how to reach me. I'm always absolutely happy to guide people in personal readings with a big picture, kind of looking into the soul trajectory. And just dropping one kind of teaser is that I'm working on the program, which is called Astrology in Online Dating.
Ooh, that's good.
Right?
Yeah, like that. So yeah, we
it
can
will
have
be
another show about that.
Yeah. When it's ready, we'll let you know.
Love that. Well, you heard it here first. Astrology and online dating. That's what we need. And I love that my nephew came in then and didn't say anything or distract anything. And now he's doing. So I'm going to say goodbye because otherwise he's going to come in again and take over the show. But thank you very much for joining me. And for everyone else at home, please check out iamsoundacademy.com. If you want my details, it's where'snatat.com. And underneath, you'll be able to find out more from Jev. And
Thanks,
on that
everyone.
note, there you go. Goodbye, everyone. Jev, you stay there. Everyone else, thank you very much. But goodbye.